Our rules are simple, but the challenge is great. No shoulder pets, tames that can be carried, or typical boss dinos allowed. That means no Rexes, Therazinos, or any other dinos people normally use in these fights. Equipped with official server cap saddles, our 19 contenders will be backed by the commanding presence of a loyal Uteranus providing that extra boost. All competitors will go into battle with food to provide a healing effect. Herbivores will have plenty of sweet veggie cakes, and carnivores and omnivores will have cooked meat. No Overseer, because the movement speed required to get through the tech cave then chase the Overseer during the fight would shorten our list by a lot. It's important to note that tames in this series aren't typically used during boss battles because of the amount of mutations it would take to make them competitive. I'll be applying around 23,000 health and 1200% melee through mutations and experience levels to all dinos that compete. This will give them all a fair shot at defeating at least one of the Guardians. It won't always be feasible to reach these stats depending on the dinos I'm using, but I will let you know the amount of mutations and levels it took in order to reach it. All competitors start out with 50 base health and melee and 40 points in everything else before I apply mutations and experience levels. Use this information and decide on your own servers if the juice is worth the squeeze. Competitors are required to fight the Megapithecus, Broodmother, then Dragon on all difficulties, starting with Gamma, then Beta, finishing with Alpha. Their success will be annotated on this scorecard with a pass or fail system. Now let's introduce our competitor and see if they have what it takes. Megaloceros. This majestic stag inhabits the snowy and redwood regions of the Ark. Often traveling in a male and a female pair, this docile mammal will flee when provoked. The stats used in this are a little different. The female can't attack, so here's what I did. Both the male and the female had 50 mutations and 70 experience levels. The male received 25 mutations and 40 levels in health and 25 mutations and 30 levels in melee. The female received all of the mutations and experience levels into health. Now let's see if they have what it takes. The green portal was open and Commander Utes was accompanied by 18 bucks and a single doe to provide that mate boost to these brave warriors. The Gamma Megapithecus fight started off with a bang, and I nearly spilled my kibble because holy hell, these things move fast and dish out a fierce ass whooping to the likes we haven't seen in a few episodes. My plan was to keep the single doe as close to me as possible, which made maneuvering kind of tricky since I would have to use the tame groups in order to do this. Eventually I decided that it wouldn't matter since she had double the health of the males. If she died, then it was probably game over anyway. This fight was damn near over before it began, and the Underdeer barely had a scratch on them as they completely crushed the Megapithecus, earning their first pass. The Gamma Broodmother is up next, and the antlered assassins have no problem surrounding her and dishing it out immediately. So far, I have yet to see a Megaloceros not attack. They seem to be running on all cylinders. I don't know if it's because we've had some poor performances lately or what, but I was in awe at this point. I couldn't remember the last time we had a creature work so efficiently. Sure, we've had some dominating performances from other creatures, but none of these guys seem to have any bugs and they moved around so effortlessly. They barely lost any health in this fight too, and earned another pass. Heading over to the Gamma Dragon Arena, the deer had no fear as they charged in and locked their attack around the ankles of the dragon. I bet you thought I was going to bust out another poem there. Not today, Cupcake. This show belongs to the Underdeer. Maneuvering around the dragon was a breeze, and the Megaloceros is actually frequently used in the dragon fight to help keep him on the ground. The hitbox of the Underdeer helps with keeping the dragon on the ground, allegedly, but it seemed to work this time as the Underdeer unleashed hell on the Gamma Dragon, sending him into the dirt and earning their third pass in a row. I fired up the blue portal and the Danger Deer were ready to rock as they leapt into the Beta Megapithecus arena. It was time to turn things up a notch with some serious competition. Or so I thought. The Underdeer had no issues keeping up with the improved speed on the Beta Megapithecus, and once again, not a single deer was plagued by that bug where they just stand there without attacking. They actually wiped the floor with him, quickly. Slap another pass on the board. The Beta Broodmother has become a milestone in this process for me. Up to this point, the Megapithecus is just kind of whatever, but the Beta Broodmother actually has a solid damage output. I always use this fight to kind of gauge how they're performing, and so far, it's been a pretty good indicator of how the creatures are going to perform against the alpha bosses. It's not always perfect because RNG is actually a thing, and if the bulk of your tames are stuck on the danger end of the alpha broodmother, then you can quickly lose that fight. For this fight, it was a pretty good indicator that the deer would at least give the alpha broodmother a run for her money, but it would have to be a flawless fight. As far as the beta broodmother goes, piece of cake for the Underdeer. That's another pass. The Beta Dragon was up next, and it can be pretty easy to become overconfident during this fight. When you're using a smaller creature like the Megaloceros, you can often overlook the danger that the dragon presents, since you can get under the hitbox and effectively take little to no damage if your positioning is right. The dragon was actually able to get off the ground once during this fight, and that's actually pretty surprising. Normally, the Beta Dragon takes off at least 3 times when I fight him, and that's always bad for the boss killing business. I'd like to point out that every deer was given 20 veggie cakes before fighting the Gamma Megapithecus, and up to this point, all of them still had over 10 in their inventory. The underdeer is no joke, and we only have 18 of them dealing damage. And they dealt plenty to drop the beta dragon and earn their 6th pass in a row. The red glow awaits us, and the underdeer get ready to charge into the frozen lair of the Alpha Megapithecus. It feels like a lifetime ago when we actually fought an alpha boss. I know it really hasn't been that long, but holy shit, I forgot how fast they are and how hard they hit. The Alpha Megapithecus has definitely taken out a couple of competitors before, but I heard the underdeer say blarga larga larga larga, which translates to eat my deer ass, you damn monkey. And eat their deer ass he did, as they continuously gored him with their majestic antlers. It didn't take very long, and the deer didn't take very much damage, which had my confidence through the roof when they dropped their first alpha boss and earned another pass. I had been saving up for Valentine's Day for a while, and I wanted to ask the alpha broodmother if her brood daddy could take her out to her favorite dodo wing restaurant. I needed this. It'd been a while since we've seen each other, and before I could get to her lair, I decided to check my phone. And would you believe it? This two-timer was already looking for more survivor meat on Spider Tinder. Yeah, I had it downloaded too, but I'm always on the lookout for some good spadussy. Of course, I clicked pass, and she immediately called me asking what the hell I was up to and demanded to know where I had been. I said, baby, I'm sorry. These damn Dodicarus and Carbonemes, they were holding me back. She says I always blame other people for my problems, and Commander Utes told me, damn, boss, she's got a point. Well, Valentine's Day was ruined, and maybe I need therapy, but not before the Megaloceros whoops her ass. And of course, I have to dismount and run up and give her a little love tap of my own. That's a well-deserved pass. We dove right into the Alpha Dragon arena with confidence through the roof. The underdeer have so far blew away all my expectations for them, and if I were to score surprises during this series, they'd be up there with a Calicotherium, easily. Check that one out if you haven't already. The Alpha Dragon stayed in this same spot until he was down about half health. Now take a look at how all the Megaloceros are attacking. It's a glorious sight. When the Alpha Dragon landed the second time, it was kinda hard to shake his aggro, but after a little back and forth and ring around the arena, I was able to shake him. Commander Utes took a couple shots of fire, but nothing too crazy, and it wasn't long before the underdeer started to go back to work on those dragon toes. If the Megaloceros didn't need so many mutations and experience levels to reach this point, I might consider using them as a primary option for the boss fights. They're fast, easy to control, do decent damage, and most importantly can beat the Alpha Megapithecus, Broodmother, and Dragon with no issues whatsoever. And that, my friends, is a full clear of the board. Over to the scoreboard, the underdeer land themselves a bright and shiny gold boom medal, our 5th competitor to do so. The gold boom medal is for a full clear, silver's for reaching the alpha stage in all 3 bosses, bronze is for competitors with a solid showing that couldn't reach the alpha stage for all the bosses, and shit is for shit. If you haven't had the opportunity, memberships on YouTube and my Patreon have been set up. Your support will be greatly appreciated. I've enjoyed every minute of watching this community grow, and I can't begin to describe how excited I am for what's to come. I hope you all have enjoyed this episode, and if you have, then please like and subscribe to join the Boom Forge. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.